Next we'll talk about wool suiting fabrics. Suiting fabrics are typically wool and traditionally wool and are created to make suit jackets and pants. The wool fabrics in this category are almost always made with worsted yarns, with some exceptions, as they create thinner, finer, and more expensive fabrics. Gabardine. Gabardine is a classic suiting fabric. It is always made with worsted wool and woven with a fine twill. It is smooth and has a very dull sheen. You can find gabardine in a variety of weights and is more limp and soft than stiff, but not very, as suiting fabrics tend to be a bit more stiff. Worsted flannel. When made from wool, flannel can be made in a worsted or woolen variety. When it is made from worsted yarn, flannel is an excellent fabric for suits. The term flannel refers to a finishing process where the fabric surface is brushed up by little tiny brushes with metal teeth to raise up a fuzzy nap. On worsted flannel, this nap is very subtle, as worsted yarns have less fuzz to begin with, so do not give off as fuzzy a nap as a woolen flannel. Worsted flannel can either be plain weave or twill, and is usually made with fine quality wools. Sharkskin wool. Sharkskin suits are not made from sharks. However, this fabric is made from fine worsted wool yarns that alternate from light to dark in color when woven. We can see that in the close-up. If we see the individual yarns, they appear to be a very dark gray alternating with a white or lighter gray color. This gives them a sort of striated patterning to them. It blends together when far away and looks mostly gray. Sharkskin is usually woven with a twill weave and has a dull shine to it, making it resemble the skin of a shark. Tropical suiting. As its name suggests, this fabric tries its best to make wool comfortable for warmer climates, which is not an easy task. It is made with worsted yarns that are usually 2-ply, as most worsted yarns are, and woven into an open plain weave. As we learned in our cotton section, an open weave allows a little bit of air or space in between each yarn in the weave. This allows for the fabric to be a little bit cooler and a little bit more breathable, making it suitable for warmer climates. Tropical suiting is lightweight, soft, and slightly limper than other suiting fabrics. Houndstooth and herringbone. We talked about houndstooth and herringbone in our section on woven fabrics. As you can remember, both of these are versions of a broken twill. The twill weave can be broken up or reversed in pattern to create pleasing designs. They are mentioned here because these two twill weave patterns are very commonly found in wools in the suiting category. Tweed. A very famous suiting fabric with a lot of character. Tweed is usually twill but can be found in plain weave variations. It is almost always woven with yarns that feature knots and slubs, parts of the yarn that are thicker with each other, and so have a pebbly texture to them. They have a rough feeling and are usually heavy in weight. Often yarns of many or irregular colors will be used. And unlike most fabrics in this category, tweeds are often made with woolen yarns instead of worsted ones. although they can still come in both varieties. The ones with heavier texture will be found with woolen yarns. There are many different types of tweed, and tweeds are an important fabric culturally in areas of the UK and Ireland, and were named after the Tweed River, which acts as a border between England and Scotland. This is where the heritage of this type of fabric comes from. There are many different types of tweed that have their own historical roots in this region. Here are examples of 3 different types of tweeds, although there are more. The Donegal tweed, originating from Donegal County in Ireland, consists of 2 dominant contrasting colors and light and dark, along with random flecks of other colors throughout the fabric. There's the Harris tweed, originally from the Isle of Harris off the coast of Scotland. This tweed is almost always made with a twill weave and is flattened and shaved to make it less textured than its other tweed relatives. There is also the estate tweed, which is named after landowners in the Scottish Highland, who first created this brand of tweed. This tweed can be made in either a plain or twill weave, and is usually a bit more regular than other tweeds. As we can see here, the nubbling, the rough texture, and the irregular yarns are reduced to a minimum. There's also boucle. We learned about boucle in the yarn section. We learned that boucle yarns have little loops in them that create a pebbled texture. Tweed often utilizes boucle yarns in addition to slubbed yarns to aid in the texture of the tweed. On its own, boucle is a very popular wool suiting fabric that can be a boucle on its own or utilized in a tweed if other colors are used alongside it. It's often used for ladies' suits and jackets and can resemble tweed and is used in tweed. Again, it's characterized by small loops popping up from the face of the fabric to create a subtle bubbly texture. Boucle means loop in French. Although boucle has loops, it can make it look similar to terry cloth, they are different.